When did you have to pretend to be mad at your kid while being secretly proud? The school secretary intercepted me in the parking lot, which is never good. Mr. Walker, there's been an incident. Your daughter broke another student's nose. My stomach dropped, but honestly, part of me thought, finally. The student was Seth Jensen, Principal Jensen's son. For 2 months, Clara had been coming home with defensive wounds, scratches on her forearms, bruises on her shins where she'd blocked kicks. Seth grabbed me again, she'd say, jaw clenched, in front of everyone. Every complaint I'd filed had disappeared into the void. Principal Jensen would nod sympathetically, promise to have a conversation with Seth, then nothing would change. Her son was untouchable, and he knew it. Now my daughter, who once cried because she accidentally stepped on an ant, had broken that boy's nose. I found them in the principal's office. Seth had an ice pack pressed to his face, actual tears streaming down his cheeks. His nose sat at an angle that made my stomach turn. Principal Jensen hovered over him like a personal security detail. Mr. Walker, your daughter attacked my son unprovoked during lunch. Her voice could have frozen hell. She walked up and struck him. This is assault. Clara sat in a plastic chair, her school uniform wrinkled and untucked. Her right hand was swollen, knuckles split and bleeding. There was blood on her sleeve, not drops, but streaks of it. She looked up when I walked in, and instead of shame or fear, her eyes held something I'd never seen before. Satisfaction. Clara, I said carefully, aware of the principal recording everything on her phone. Tell me what happened. Seth has been hurting me for months, Clara said, her voice eerily calm. But that's not why I hit him. Jensen's face twitched. Violence is never. Let her finish, I said. Clara looked directly at the principal. Your son had Andy Harper cornered behind the equipment shed. The room temperature dropped. Andy Harper was a 6th grader with autism who still couldn't tie his shoes without help. Seth was holding Andy's face down toward a pile of dirt, Clara continued. He told Andy he had to eat it, or Seth would tell you that Andy stole from the cafeteria. Andy was crying, begging him to stop. Principal Jensen's phone lowered slightly. That's a very serious accusation. I told you about Seth 3 times this term, Clara said, holding up her injured hand. I showed you the bruises. You said I was exaggerating, being dramatic, that boys will be boys. So when I saw him forcing Andy's face toward the dirt, I didn't bother finding a teacher. She turned to me. I pulled Seth away from Andy. When Seth turned around and raised his fist at me, like he always does, I hit him first. Hard enough that he'd remember it. The silence stretched until we could hear the clock ticking. Where's Andy now? I asked. The nurse's office. Principal Jensen said quietly. He's upset. I want to see him. That's not necessary. Either I see Andy, or my next call is to my firm about filing charges against your son for assault of a special needs child. Her face went white. Your firm? I'm a partner at Walker, Chen & Associates. I'm actually a paralegal at a small firm, but she didn't need to know that. We specialize in educational law and disability rights violations. 20 minutes later, Andy Harper sat between his parents in the conference room. Dirt was still caked under his fingernails. His mother had tears streaming down her face as Andy quietly confirmed everything Clara had said. He does it all the time, Andy whispered. Makes me eat gross stuff or he'll lie about me. His father's hands were shaking. How long has this been happening? Since September, Andy said. Principal Jensen sat frozen, staring at her son, who wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. Mrs. Jensen, Andy's mother said, voice deadly quiet. Your son has been torturing my child for 3 months, and my only question is, did you know? The principal's silence was damning. By the end of the day, 3 more students had come forward about Seth. The school board called an emergency meeting. Principal Jensen submitted her resignation before they could fire her. Clara's suspension was reversed. Her disciplinary record was wiped clean. The district implemented new anti-bullying protocols and hired an independent firm to investigate all previous complaints. That night, Clara sat with a bag of frozen peas on her hand. Am I in trouble? No, baby. You protected someone who couldn't protect himself. Mrs. Jensen kept saying violence is never the answer. Sometimes, I said carefully, when the people in charge won't protect the vulnerable, someone has to step in. You tried the right way first. You reported it multiple times. But I wanted to hit him, she admitted quietly. I've wanted to hit him for months. When I saw him with Andy, I finally had a good reason. That's why we have rules and systems, so people don't have to feel that way. But when the systems fail, we protect the people who can't protect themselves, she finished. Yeah, baby, we do.